welcome to Storyboard 18, Power of Purpose 2026. Before we begin, we'd like to thank our partners, Sustainability Partner, Bisleri, Celebration Partner, Diageo India, Associate Partner, Titan Eye Plus, and Snacking Partner, PepsiCo, for showcasing that when purpose is integrated into business, it doesn't limit growth, it strengthens it. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Shri Chirag Paswan, Honorable Minister for Food Processing Industries, Government of India. Please welcome, sir.
आज जब हम सब लोग यहाँ पर एकत्रित हुए हैं, ये एक ऐसा समय है, एक ऐसा दौर है, एक ऐसे अध्याय की शुरुआत है जो हमें विकसित भारत की दिशा में आगे लेकर जाएगा. As a kid, I always used to wonder that why my country is always been called as a developing nation. It's been decades जब हम लोग को स्वतंत्रता मिली और तब से लेकर अभी तक हम लोग बिना टारगेट ओरिएंटेड हुए, बिना ऑर्गेनाइज्ड हुए, बिना लक्ष्यों को तय किए, हम लोग बस हर क्षेत्र में बढ़ रहे थे. बट आज जब हमारी सरकार ने इस सोच को स्पष्ट किया है कि जरूरी है सबको एकजुट होकर, एकत्रित होकर एक लक्ष्य के साथ आगे बढ़ना, तभी जाकर हम लोग भारत को एक विकसित देश बना पाएंगे. आज ग्लोबल इतने चैलेंजेस होने के बाद भारत अगर तेजी से बढ़ती अर्थव्यवस्था है तो कहीं तो हम लोग सही जा रहे हैं ना. और इस विश्वास को हम ही लोगों को अपने ऊपर रखना होगा. अगर हम खुद पे ही शंका करेंगे, खुद पे ही अगर हम लोग डाउट करेंगे तो दुनिया बैठी है आपको खाने के लिए. मेरा भारत एक युवा देश है. एक तरफ जहां हम लोग की अर्थव्यवस्था बढ़ रही है, वहीं युवा देश होना, ये एक ऐसा कॉम्बिनेशन है जो हम लोग को बहुत आगे लेकर जाने की क्षमता रखता है. बट ये तभी संभव होगा जब हम अपनी सारी एनर्जी एक सकारात्मक सोच की दिशा में आगे बढ़ाने का हम लोग काम करें. आज मैं पुनः नेटवर्क 18 का मैं धन्यवाद करता हूं कि उन्होंने मुझे ये मौका दिया आप सबके बीच आकर अपनी बातों को रखने का. और इस मंच से जाने से पहले मैं पुनः ये विश्वास आप सबको दिलाकर जाना चाहता हूं. अलग अलग सेक्टर से जुड़े हुए जितने भी इंडस्ट्री चैम्बर्स एसोसिएशन, जितने भी महानुभाव यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं, पुनः मैं ये विश्वास दिलाकर जाना चाहता हूं कि देश आगे बढ़ेगा तो मेरा सरकार की सोच को सम्मान मिलेगा. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
Please welcome someone who brings with him a deep understanding of what it takes to build relevance in a fast-changing consumer market. Please put your hands together for Dr. Angelo George, CEO, Bisleri.
We are blessed with 18% of the world's population, but we have just about 4% of the groundwater. And over the last 70 years, the per capita availability has come down by almost 1/4. And if it is going to continue, then we're going to be in serious trouble. You can see certain parts of the country being completely overexploited. But I think it's important for us to understand how this entire groundwater or surface water consumption happens in India. It's almost 85% by agriculture. Industry is about 8%. But while industry is 8%, there is a good amount of robust data that's available about industrial consumption. We are one of the largest water companies, one of the most loved brands. We are one of the first companies in India to become plastic neutral and water positive. And water positive by a significant margin. We replenish 4.7 times the water that we take out from the ground. How do we go about doing this? The first is about getting our efficiencies right. We have the best-in-class efficiencies in terms of processing at our factories and the rainwater harvesting. Equally, we ensure that our business model is distributed so we don't have the mega plants. It's medium scale. So we're able to replenish water in the watershed by adopting water bodies and ponds and in the vicinity. We also extend our work into rural by building check dams, 300 plus, which is helping farmers in terms of improving their livelihood. the last one you see out there is interesting. We sponsor the Ladakh Marathon. It's a 180-kilometer sport. We're placing the water bottles on the road, and the villagers came and asked us, we don't have water around the year, and you guys are placing these bottles on the road. Can you help us? And what you see out there is the third lake that we have built for villagers in Leh. That's at an altitude of about 12,000 feet. So every year with Ladakh Marathon, we inaugurate one reservoir, and we call it the Reservoir of Hope. Over 70 years, we managed to deplete the groundwater by 1/4. Can we turn it around in the next 70 and become water positive? With science, policy, community participation, and industry practices, I believe we can, and water credits as a concept could play a huge role in this.
To steer this next discussion, please join me in welcoming Dilshad Irani, editor, Storyboard 18, onto the stage.
We're now talking about a different era of brands, products, and purpose. Today, it's not just about selling, it's about shaping ecosystems. Let me ask you this. How is Diageo tapping into this moment?
We do a tremendous amount of work in the communities that we are participating in. We have a very distributed manufacturing as a consequence of our business. We manufacture in 28 locations. That's not the case for most FMCG products, and across different states. And that gives us the ability to impact those states with things like water stewardship, with a recycle or a renewable footprint that is way ahead of competition or of other brands. Or if I were to go even further, impacting grassroots communities in the places that we operate. But if I look at a specific example, it would be my favorite example, which is Godawan. Now, Godawan was born out of India, and it was born out of the idea that we can build a global brand that talks conservation of an Indian heritage, of an Indian craft, and of an Indian asset. And the asset is the Godawan bird. So for years, we worked with the grassroots organizations on saying, how do we conserve the bird and get the population up? Starting from 73 or 74, we went to 100, which we commemorated, then 173. Put it on then on a whiskey, which now sells across the world. Water scarcity meant that we use every resource very, very carefully. So it is not just about a brand or about a conservation effort. It's also about then building the true credibility to be, and we've won the Alliance for Water Stewardship certification. This is the only plant in Asia, because that's what we need to do when we create a spirit out of Rajasthan, which then gives back to the local communities.
जो हमारे भारत में फ्रांस से कोई चीज़ आई पॉपुलर है, अमेरिका से कोई चीज़ पॉपुलर है, और उस ज़माने में ब्लू पॉटरी को अगर मैं होटल्स में जाके ले जाती थी कि देखिए ये हमारी देश की धरोहर है, आप इसको काम में लीजिए, वो कहते थे ये क्या है। पर आज कुछ लोगों की बदौलत जब ब्लू पॉटरी को वो लोग देखते हैं, उसमें डियाजियो को भी मैं इंक्लूड करना चाहूँगी, और आज जब वो लोग आते हैं और कहते हैं कि नहीं, हमें 5 स्टार 7 स्टार होटल्स में ब्लू पॉटरी को ही लगाना है, अलग अलग उसमें एनी क्राफ्ट इफ वी वांट वी हैव टू मेक यूटिलिटी आइटम, इफ वी वांट टू मेक द क्राफ्ट सर्वाइव we have to make utility item, and that's how you name the thing and we are telling yes we are making.
For me, any expression, patronage, and anything that has context to what you're creating is art. And certainly I take pride in being the second generation. My mother started this beautiful label. People like Leela Auntie and my mother, they've shaped that whole conversation about how to go beyond only creating an entrepreneur spirit and patronizing craft. And I think that's been an initiative when we thought that, okay, do we just want to be jewelers? And that was a question that we asked ourselves as a family. And that's when we initiated the Meenakari Museum. And I think it's been an incredible journey.
The idea of NASO was purely born from the intention of having
a purposeful healing-led perfumery that bridges the gap between aromatherapy, Ayurveda, and the modern day's tone of healing. And with perfumery being such an important part of my life, whenever I would be worked up, I would light a mogra oil in the house and I would watch it elevate my sense of being, from my mindset to being more functional, for me to be doing better at everything that I tried. So I wanted to kind of bring that and bring it in front of the world.
Pero was founded by the belief of making our own textiles and building a beautiful amalgamation of all the crafts of the country, and to make it globally relevant, which was inspired by the effortless styles of the remote India, because there are so many Indias and there are so many styles across. So what we did was put it together and brought a beautiful amalgamation. And what made it globally relevant was that it was a mix. It was not one Indian craft screaming that I am the handicraft of Gujarat or I am the handicraft of Andhra. It was one meticulously put together, handmade in India piece, which made it globally relevant.
Thank you so much, all of my panelists, for joining us today.
Please welcome a leader known for driving growth through brand building, market expansion, and consumer insight. Nirmal Lobo, Chief Sales and Marketing Officer, eyecare division, Titan Company.
What's our purpose? I think our purpose is to try and see how do we bring vision and fashion and really look at how do we have relevant and innovative solutions. We are a multi-brand eyewear store. We have brands from Titan, Fast Track, and an array of international brands. Best-in-class lenses across the best in the world, whether it's Zeiss, SLR, Hoya, or Titan itself. And also eye care experts who have deep optometry knowledge, average experience of about 8 to 10 years. So these are the three big pillars that we are guided by. Vision, which is the premise of why we exist. Fashion, because what consumers seek is to look really good and see better. And how tech as an intervention can really solve problems at scale. One of the things that we figured out was road accidents. About 25,000 truckers meet with accidents every year. The simple but powerful insight, we said, how can we make, if drivers can't come to us, how can we go to them? So therefore, we kind of set up as to where is the best place from access, awareness, and action. For 40 years in Titan, this is the first campaign that has got us 3 lions. So therefore, I mean, sometimes when you do it with absolute intent and authenticity, I think you get recognition that is not just local but global. So what next? 2024, we did that. So this is the other problem that we said. With the large population, where is the early detection? Where do we really need to focus? About 3 crore children really have problems with their vision. And we said, how can we make a deeper impact here? So having done these two, and as we speak, we continue to do on the FY25, what next is really our question. Myopia is really coming at it hard. I mean, 50% of the world population will be myopic in the next 20 years or so. I think the 2 big words that are guided for our business is expertise and empathy. And how do you bring this together? Because, I mean, it's nobody wants to hear the news that somebody's eyes is not okay, or it is only kind of restriction. And I mean, holding back on progression is the only way to go about it. It's not about cure. So therefore, it needs to be dealt with very empathetically. And how do we really take it to scale and deal with this problem? Being in eye care gives us the privilege to change lives, business matter, but really the purpose is what keeps us alive and makes us come back to work every day. Thank you very much.
We are joined by someone deeply engaged in shaping India's public and policy discourse. Please put your hands together for Bansuri Swaraj, MP, New Delhi Lok Sabha constituency.
How do you define purpose for yourself? Purpose for me is to lead my life with intention, with progress at the core. And I'm not talking about progress on a personal level. I'm talking about making a difference beyond myself. What is your vision for Indian cities? Where do you see Bharat in 2047? What will our cities look like?
In 2047, I think that our cities will be greener. They will be Atmanirbhar. So self-reliance will be at the core of it. And I don't mean self-reliance only economically, but I mean in terms of energy efficiency. India is already working towards energy autonomy. I think it will be a city which will also have digital sovereignty. We would have democratized the access to technology. We would be leveraging technology to make sure that we are talking, our rhetoric moves forward from just GDP to actually ensuring day-to-day happiness, ease of living, ease of doing business.
What's your message to citizens today who are saying, we're paying our taxes, right? We want better living conditions, better cities, world-class cities.
मैं आपके मंच से देवतुल्य मतदाता को कहूंगी कि आप अधीर मत होइए. हर एक संकट का हल होगा, वो आज नहीं तो कल होगा. अगर मैं दिल्ली की बात करूं, we are taking very conscientious measures for ensuring that Delhi becomes greener, safer, and everything that you think is a problem will be addressed. Something as small like एक पेड़ माँ के नाम. ये एक ऐसी मुहिम थी जो आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने शुरू करी थी और आज ये जन आंदोलन बन गया है. अगर मैं आपको दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट के बारे में बताऊं तो more than 70 lakh trees have been planted in the last 1 year. These are small steps, but when together as a holistically, they give you a larger picture, which is going to ensure that our cities are where you're going to breathe better, you're going to live better.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, Bansuri. Pleasure chatting with you. Thank you. Sohail, thank you so much for joining me again. Sohail, what does it take to be a purposeful business and brand today?
A lot of people in the world of marketing and advertising and branding talk about, oh, we want to sell our brand, or we want to engage with the consumer. You have to engage with the community because the consumer is a microcosm of the community. The mistake that is made is we are only targeting consumers and we are not targeting the community. Communities are your biggest buffer should there be a problem with your brand. And brands can have issues. Communities tend to trust a company, not just a brand. A consumer only trusts a brand. So if I can create a bridge of trust, a bridge of empathy between company and community, the consumer is automatically taken care of. Well, I have my old line on marketing. No one buys a brand, they buy benefits.
What we're seeing right now, especially in the gig economy, where, there's often a battle between brand narrative and what gig workers say and do. Any thoughts on that?
They are workers. They are living and working for an income. They must be as well looked after as you would look after employees within your company. Goodness must be encouraged. Goodness cannot be mandated. And goodness must be when every employee feels good. Sometimes respect has a better premium than salaries.
Thank you so much, Sohail, for joining us again. Pleasure chatting with you as always. Thank you.
Our next panel examines how brands are responding to this very shift by embedding purpose into everyday decisions and culture and reshaping the brand equation where credibility, impact, and long-term growth come together.
Today, when we look at purpose economy, brands today are going towards sustainability and the purpose that today the consumers are looking forward to. How a brand like you can enhance this communication and purpose for its consumers?
Smelling is one of our 5 senses, and I feel it's really underutilized. In India, we are actually not using our sense of smell so much. So I really wanted to, give this experience to people where people actually can elevate their lifestyles by and through fragrances. It is something that truly can and has the ability to make our lives much better. And we do all of this through very, ethical practices we make sure that India has a world-class product and something that can be represented globally. And India, though it's been a provider and it produces a lot of raw materials for perfumery, but never has it been, no Indian brand has been represented in the global platform. And I wanted to do that.
We always say that if you did not get your act right, you would not survive for 160 years. It's for a very good reason. We are in 185 countries. We are the world's largest food and beverage company. And the only reason is because we stayed true to our course. Just now, the member of parliament on the way out, she exchanged something very interesting. And she said, I've grown up on Maggie. I recently went somewhere and I had Maggie and something. It just tells you the love and affection that the brand has created over the years. It's because it's always stayed true to its purpose. It's stayed true to its values. And that's what we do in Nestle. And that's how we are able to manage the noise which is there in social media sometimes. You have to speak your truth. You have to speak it honestly, with dignity, but with facts.
Frankly speaking, in the journey of brand building, capital is never surplus. And you also need to kind of burn to kind of reach to a certain trial awareness for the brand. But what we can do as a brand, we believe that we can still spread spirit of entrepreneurship in a lot of young Indians. So for example, what we talk internally is that we are the brand for young entrepreneurial Indians. And we do this in many ways. For example, we have invested in, 30 young startups through a fund we created within the company. We incubate a lot of startups within our office. They basically initially don't have office space. They work out of our office and then kind of once they expand, they move out and work.
Thank you so much for being here today and sharing your insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you.